Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jane, and I'm your host today. All right, so we're gathered here today to get through this thing called Tradingview, and this is a recording that we're doing on January the 28th, 2024, to try to help people understand Tradingview a little bit better and to be able to navigate it and be, efficient in their charting and to help with their analysis. So we have a myriad of things that we're going to go through today, and I'm going to try to go through quickly and yet, carefully to help people understand. And actually, I'm on a chart, and I'm just gonna just go to a clean chart because I don't want to get people to be confused with what's on the chart. All right. So first of all, we'll talk about horizontal lines. So sometimes when you're marking your zones, first of all, you have your tool bar over here. And this is where, you'll find all the icons to different things that you want to put on your chart. So over here, I think by default, this might be on trend line when you first come over to this first icon over here. But over here is where you have your trend line. What we primarily use when we do charting is a trend line, a horizontal ray are the main ones that we use. And you notice over here that you have this star. So if you come over here and hit the star, then this will show up on your toolbar down here. So you don't always have to come over here and find the tool that you want to use. So I recommend favoriting your the item that you use most frequently. So then when you're doing your charting, you're just working from this toolbar right here, and you can drag this anywhere you want to on the chart just by clicking this little these little dots right here, right? So what we use a lot when charting is the horizontal ray. So this is a horizontal ray, and basically that's the line that just goes to where you want it to, the high or low or whatever level you're marking on your chart. It just goes right there as opposed to the horizontal line. And I personally like the horizontal lines horizontal rays because, when you're in here and you're marking your levels and you got a bunch of different levels, it's like, like what are you marking? Like what I can't see like where the zone that you're marking, where it starts and where it ends, So it's just for me, I personally like the horizontal ray. Because I mean, look at it. It's just your chart is just, it's like I don't know. You don't know where to draw your eye to, right? So I recommend using a horizontal ray when you chart your lines. So that's that. So I'm going to show you how to edit the horizontal ray and kind of customize your lines and even create a template. So when you have a lot of lines on your chart like this, you can come over here and you can hit delete, click the line, make sure the bubble is here and hit delete. Or you could just come to this trash can down here and say remove 5 drawings, and it'll just take all your lines away at once. So you don't have to worry about clicking each line to delete it. What you want to be careful on over here is you can remove your drawings, remove your indicators, or remove your drawings and indicators. So what I've done in the past is I've removed drawing and indicators, and then I go back to my chart and I'm like, where are my indicators at? And I'm like, oh, I did drawings and indicators. So be sure if you use a lot of indicators that you only delete drawings when you're only trying to clear your chart and remove the drawings. So when you use a horizontal ray and you're marking your zone, for example, you just click on your toolbar, get your horizontal ray and put it where you want it to be. And I recommend making sure the magnet is on and making sure the magnet is on weak, not strong, because sometimes it's strong, it's too strong. So make sure you use the magnet, and the magnet is important because when you're marking your levels, you can miss an entry by a cent, just because your your horizontal ray was not snapped to the level that you wanted it to be snapped on. So basically this, you just click on the magnet here to turn it on and off, and then it's on strong when it has the little electric bolts down there below the magnet. So you just want to make sure your magnet is on and it's weak. And it does get a little used to, it takes a little bit to get used to, because see how I'm over here and it's trying to snap everywhere. See how it's just like snapping on open. It'll snap on the open, the low, the high, or the close of the candle. And sometimes when you're dragging it around, you're just like, I can't, I'm trying to get it right here, but it keeps snapping. You just have to take the point of your cursor and put it where you want it to snap, and if it snaps up there, okay, that's okay. Just move your cursor down a little bit. Just, I want it to snap here, so don't get easily frustrated because you're trying to snap it somewhere and it keeps, jumping all over the place. You just have to have control and mastery over your mouse and tell the cursor where you want it to snap, So sometimes you might be, on your chart and it's like this and everything is so small and you're like, I'm trying to get it to snap and I can't. I just want it on that candle. What you could do is use your magnifying glass over here and zoom in on the area that you want to get see it real clear or real big, and snap it like that, so you don't have to struggle with the candles being all super small. Like you can literally zoom in and, like you don't want to be charting like that, right? You can either open it up down here and up here, or you can grab the magnifying glass, select the area that you want to focus on, and then make it bigger like that. And then once you've, done all your analysis, you see it is all clear, then you could just zoom out using that. Or you can right click on your chart and just do reset chart view, and it'll just reset your chart like that. So when you're doing your horizontal rays, what you could do is double click here. And I don't know like what your default is when you come to the horizontal ray. Like this might be off like that. So you just have to check it and say you want to label it and say, this is my support level. You can label it. You can change the color if you want it to match the line. You can make your font bigger. If you want it bigger, you can make it bold. You can italicize it, like however you want to customize it. If this box is in your way, just click on it up here and drag it out the way. If you want to have it, the text at the top of your line, you can have it at the bottom of your line. You can have it at the left, center, right. That's how you get all of, customize your line here. And what you can do, like say this is how you want to have your right top. So that's how you want this. Like whenever you do your charting, you're like, I use my support level every day. I don't want to have to label it. I don't want to have to customize it. Then what you could do is go over here to template and do save as and do support level. And then save it. So then whenever you're coming in and you're doing your charting and it's a new day and you get your horizontal ray and you're like, this is a support level. I don't want to have to customize it. You can put your fresh line here. You can right click on the little bubble right there. You can go to template right here, and then you can go down to whatever you labeled this, whatever you're identifying. In this case, it's our support level. And then you can just choose that, and it already has your default settings set for that line. Say you want to say like, I want my support level, but I want it to be a dashed line and I want it to be purple instead. So you just come into your colors under style, you make, change the color you want. You said you want it dashed, so you have the option to do line, dashed, or dotted. And then you also want to change the text of your label. And then you're like, dang, do I have to create another template, or can I save over the template that I already did? You can save over the template just by going to template, save as, type in support level, click save. And then it's saying, do you want to, drawing template support level already exists. Do you really want to replace it? Yes. So basically what that is saying is that the previous line that we created that was all gold is now been updated to where it's purple. So that's how you can, instead of having a bunch of different, I don't know what I was about to say. So you place your horizontal ray, you right click, you come up here, you go to support level, and then there's your label for your, your frequently used level, or frequently used horizontal ray. So that is how you can do that. Sometimes, for whatever reason, you might want to say, I want this line to be at 102. So you can go into coordinates and change this to 102, and it'll just jump up to 102. You can do that, usually, if you're using the magnet, then you don't have to worry about it. But say people just don't like using the magnet. I don't want to use the magnet, and you want your level to be at 102.50, then you can just come in here and manually change it. Oops. And basically visibility is saying like what charts you want this to show up on. So right now it's on, it's going to show up on any chart that I go to. But say I don't want this to show up on the daily chart, then I think this is how that works. So it takes it off the daily, but if I go down to a 10-minute, I'll see it there. So that's one way you can control like what levels what you're looking at, what time frames it actually shows up on. So that can help not clutter up your chart as much. And you'll notice in a lot of different features on TradingView, you'll see this visibility box, and you can choose what time frames you want different things you put on your chart to show up on. So for example, if you're doing charting on the 5-minute chart, but you don't want to see your 5-minute labels on the daily chart, then you can select that over here in your visibility settings. Oh, I guess I can talk about time frames too. So now this probably not showing up over here because I didn't change it over here. So you got to keep that in mind too. Like say you go to another chart, you're like, what happened to my line? And you go check the visibility, and then that's how you'll know like, okay, there it is. I wanted to see that. All right. So I think that's all I wanted to say about horizontal ray. Does anybody have any questions about just using the horizontal lines, the magnet, clearing the drawing, anything that I've set up to this point? All right. So rectangles is the same idea. You find your rectangles. The rectangles are over here in this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 icons down, and then you got your shapes down here. So this is a rectangle, but I have mine starred. I have mine starred here, and it's on my toolbar down here. So that's where I get my rectangle from. That's where I get my rectangle from. So like when you're adding a rectangle to the chart, you can do the same thing. Like say, for example, I'm just gonna measure this fair value gap right here since it's, clear as day right in front of me. Say you wanna, mark this fair value gap. So basically, you get your rectangle, you can click here, drag it over, release it, and then grab it, this bubble right here, and attach it to the top of this wick right here. So you'll notice that it moved from up here. So all you have to do is grab the bubble here, and the magnet had it snap right there. Right? So and again, like sometimes you might be marking something where it might be, let's do this. Say you're in here and you're like, I want to put a rectangle right here. And then you're having problems snapping it or whatever, for whatever reason. So just release the box, go get your magnifying glass, zoom in on this area, make it nice and big, and then you can just snap it. So sometimes what happens, like say you snap the top first and it moves down here, all you got to do is grab the bottom and pull it over here, and then you got both areas of the gap marked. And I think when you first, I don't know, I'm not sure. I can, reset this to default and see, let's see, apply defaults. So when you first add the rectangle to your chart, it'll probably look like this because you haven't saved any settings and anything like that. So what you can do is, for example, you're putting your rectangle down for the first time and you're like, where's that middle line at? I want the middle line, which is 50% of the rectangle. You could just double click on the edge of the rectangle, go to middle line, and just like we customized our horizontal ray, you can customize a rectangle. So say you want your box to be green, and you want the border to be green, and you want the inside to be a lighter green, and you want your middle line to be black, and you want it to be dotted instead of dashed. You can do all of those edits here in the settings. Say you want your text to be black and you want it to say, I don't know, 50%. But you want it to be in the inside of the box and you want it to be in the center. Then that tells you that, you're at 50% of the box. A lot of times we'll put a box on our chart and it'll be all the way on the over here, but say you wanted to extend all the way across your chart, then all you have to do is go into the settings, go back to style, and do extend right. So then, you have your box on the chart. It's all the way over here, so you don't have to worry about, until this gap fills, you don't have to worry about dragging the box over or anything like that. Oftentimes with the rectangle, you'll see that, you have this box right here and it might be, like that. So you just have to grab this middle bubble right here, and then you can drag this over to wherever you want on the chart. And when you're looking at centering the text, like when we're in here and it says center, it's centering between this area and this area. That's the center, right? So that 50% is always going to be in the center of that area on the box. And the same thing, like if you want to make this a template, you just go up to, well, there's two ways you can do it. You could double click it, you can go to template, and then you can do save as, and you can also right click it and go to template and do save as. So this, we're just gonna call it test 50%. I don't know why I called it that. And so anytime, say you want to use a rectangle again, let's do this. Let's do this. Apply default. So say you want to add a rectangle, you want to use your test 50% rectangle, you can add it to the chart, right click, go to template, and then do test 50%, and it has all your settings that you set originally. Okay, and then the same thing is true, like if you wanted to change the coordinates of where the bottom of the box and the top of the box is, you can do that in here. You can change your visibility. Say you only want this to show up on the daily chart and not on the lower time frames, and you would just uncheck everything but the daily. And that's how you can use that. Say you were like, I don't want to use this box anymore. I don't like it. I don't need the template. I don't want it to clutter up my template list. You can right click here, get your template menu, find test 50%. Oh, I guess you can only do it over here. Double click on the box, go to template, go to test 50% and see that little X right there. Then you can remove it and delete it. Say you made a mistake, you don't want it, you know, change the settings and you named it something else instead of what you originally called it, then you could just, go in there and delete that template, and then you won't see that template anymore. That's how you can clean up your template list. And I got some things in here I can clean up my deck myself because I got quite a few. So that is rectangles. Does anybody have any questions or anything you do with rectangles that you think might be helpful? You can extend them right as well, but I'm always looking to the left, so I never extend it right, but you can if you want to. Left, extended left, sorry. Any questions on rectangles? Nope. All right. Fib. So one of the things that we use when we're looking at price action and measuring price action is a Fibonacci retracement tool. So we're going to have a call next week where we go more into the fib, but just in general, we use the fib to basically like measure when price is in a premium or a discount. So 50% of a fib is a discount area, and that's normally where we look to buy. Above 50% is a premium area. So if you were using the fib and you were trying to measure, let's look at NVIDIA because that was a good example. If you're using the fib and say you have this price leg right here, then and you want to say like, I want to see, is price going to come into a discount below 50% before I get in and take it long? Well, you can put your fib on here. And the thing that I like about Tradingview is it does not matter where you click. If you start, should I click at the bottom and go to the top? Should I do it at the bottom? It doesn't matter. You can just click it, apply it. And let's say I did it like this. Let's say I did top down. And it depends on your settings. Like if you already know that clicking from bottom to top is going to give you bullish, then, for example, I did bottom to top. If I never reverse the settings on this, I always know I can click bottom to top and I'll have my higher fib levels down here. If you ever want to do the bearish levels, meaning the higher levels at the top, you can go top to bottom, and your bearish fib levels are here, meaning you want to see how far price is going to react up into this retracement up here. You could do that, but say you're messing around with it and you just happen to go here, but you really want to have your higher level numbers down here. You can change it and drag it and drop it and do it like that to reverse it. Or when you're in your settings, you can just double click on the little bubble, come down here and hit reverse, and it'll just manually reverse it for you, or automatically. You're manually, I don't know if that's manual or automatic or what. But that's just a few ways that you can just adjust the fib without if the levels are not where you want them to be on the chart. So like on this right here, on this price leg right here, price came down and barely made it to 50%. before it started this move up. But then look at this right here. Price came down here, went up here, came back down here. So let's see, did that go down to 50%? So all you got to do is just grab your bubble, snap it over here because you got your magnet on, grab your bubble, snap it right here because you got your magnet on. And then you see right there, price went up, came down 50%, and then it was a wrap. Right? So one of the things that we did, and we'll talk about this next week, is, try to practice using fib extensions. Once NVIDIA started running up, we don't know any level to target to know where the price might be going. So what you can do is measure this price leg right here, and then you can project on the extensions. Oops, I accidentally moved my alert. That is probably useless now. I don't even know what I just did. You can project price to go here, to go here, to go here, to go here. And you see right here, this is the -2 fib extension here. Price came right up here and now it's, consolidating a little bit. So, but we'll talk about that in the fib call next week. Let's see. And on the fib, you can also do templates, right? So I got a bunch of different templates that I set for the fib. So I got this one, it has a fib extension. If I double click here and go to template, I have all these different fibs here. So one of them is, for example, the 50% fib. So sometimes when I'm on the chart and I just want to have a visual of my discount is in a green, my premium is in the red, maybe that's what I want to see on the chart. So for example, as opposed to all the lines, right? And I like it because, like, if I have it on a daily chart, then I can see, I can visually know like when I'm in a premium or a discount. So see, that's the wrong way because I want green at the bottom. I could just come down here, do reverse, and have green at the bottom. So like, say I'm looking at this chart and for whatever reason, my chart is like super big or something like that. It's like, if I'm looking at it like this, it's like, at least I know in the area that I'm in right now, I'm in a discount because I can see the green and I can see the 50% here. So I have that kind of fib set. I got, I have my quadrant fib over here. And basically the quadrant fib is, it just gives me quadrants because oftentimes price will be traced down 25%. It'll trace 50%, it'll trace 75%. So I'll use that setting on the fib. And oftentimes you'll see, like, say you don't want to use a rectangle and you're like, let me just do a quick, quickly look at this right here to see how far this price retraced down. So I'll go to the close of this candle, the open of this candle, I put my quad fib on it and I see that price retrace down to 50%. So instead of having all of these other fib levels that I have on my, this, I only want to see 25, 50, 75. So I don't need to see all those other levels in there, right? So that's why I'll use that. I also have this fib where it's the same as the fib that I have with the extensions, but it doesn't have the extensions because sometimes I don't want to use the extensions. I just want to see the different fib levels. So there's a lot of different things you can, templates you can set using the fib retracement tool. And, templates that you can create with them, and just like we can label the horizontal ray and the box. Oh, actually we can't, yeah. The only thing we can do with the fib is the different levels, price levels. And what you'll notice when you use the default fib is that this is what it looks like. I don't even need to go into this because we can talk about this next week. But that's what the default fib looks like. So for me, it's like, I like my numbers to be on the right, because these numbers would be covered up by candles if I leave them on the left. So we can talk about the fib settings on the call next week. Let me see, fib. Any questions on the fib for now? All right. We talked about magnifying glass, using that. Well, one thing that you can do, say you want to look at your chart and you're like, I just want to look at a clean chart. I don't want to see any of my levels on my chart. Then over here, where you got this little eyeball over here, you can hide your levels. And then we got this little caret, so you can hide your drawings. Or if you had indicators on here, you can hide your indicators. If you had, say you were in a trade, but you were charting with your friends and you're like, they don't need to see my positions. You can hide your orders and positions, or you can just hide all. So that's under this little eyeball over here. That's what you could do that. Oh, one thing I will say is what you might want to do when you add your levels to your chart, that you can use this little lock right here. And then what's nice about using the lock is that when you're like clicking around and dragging around on your chart, you don't have to worry about accidentally clicking a line. Because sometimes, you're charting and you're like, I clicked my line, I accidentally moved my line. Say I'm trying to move my chart and not the line, then that's what happens if your line is not locked. Like, oh no, I want to move the line, not the chart, not the line. So that helps if you lock your line, so you don't have to worry about that and accidentally move levels. So you'll see that when you click on whatever drawing object you're working with, you'll just see it down here. I don't think I did anything to add this lock to this line. It just shows up. Oh, and the nice thing about this is, like, we were going in here to customize our lines and stuff and change the color, but you can also do that on this line, on this toolbar right here, right? So instead of having to go in here and go to your line and make it big and thick, you can click on the line and just go over here and make it, whatever you want it to be. We talked about resetting your chart, just right click on the chart and just right click on the chart. Say you're doing a bunch of different stuff and you don't know where you are in time and you're like, oh, I just need to reset the chart. Right click, reset the chart. Sometimes you might be charting, say you're charting on an hourly chart and you're charting with some friends and they're looking at a zone and they're like, I'm looking at November 28th. And then you're down here like, oh my God, I gotta find November 28th, 2022. Oh, let me drag back. Oh, I can't find it. What you could do is just down here at the bottom, you have this calendar, and you can click on the calendar and then click on this. Oh, I guess it doesn't give us the calendar. Huh? Oh, that's great. Go here to, arrow back to November 2022, November 16th or whatever day you want, and then do go to. And then it'll just take you all the way back to the date instead of you having to scroll and search and scrub and all of that. This little calendar right here is real handy to go back when you want to go back and look at a particular date. And there we got Aaron entered NVIDIA down here. And now we see where NVIDIA is all the way up here. Go, Aaron. Wow, it's even higher. So that is how you can go back in time to go to a particular date. Anybody have any questions on anything up to this point? All right.
Testing. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Hey,
Forgive me. I joined late and I just didn't know if you already talked about entering orders yet into TradingView.
No,
Okay.
we can actually talk about that right now. So say you were looking at, here's one thing I can cover that I didn't have on our list was replay. So one of the things you can do is run the chart back and pretend like you're getting in a trade and seeing like how that trade would have worked out for you. So maybe we can do that as well as look at placing orders now. So say we want to run it back to this date right here. No, we want to run it back. So it's bar replay up here. You just click that. Let me just do that again, just in case people missed it. I'm gonna stop it right, not stop it, but get out of it by hitting this X down here in the bottom right-hand corner. So I'm exiting that. I'm saying yes, and it's just taking me back to the regular chart. So up here next to alert, it has replay. So you can click on replay, and then wherever that blue line is, that's where the chart is gonna start. So I want it to start on this particular day. So we're gonna lose all this. I don't want this to get confusing, so I'm just gonna get rid of all this right here. So say we are on this particular day and we're just like, you know what, I'm bullish. I want to place an order right here. I'm gonna put my, you've done all your analysis, you've figured out whether or not you want to get the trade or not. Oh, it doesn't let me do it on here, huh? On bar replay. Oh, that sucks. Well, while we're over here, I'll just show you this. So say you want to play back a trade, price came here and react to this level. So you just want to see, okay, what have I got in here? Using bar replay, I want to see how the trade worked out. So let me see if I can do this. Because really, if I do buy right now, I think it's going to put my order up here, and I really want it to be here. So let me see if I play it once and pause it. Play. Okay, I missed it. So the controls for bar replay are down here. And maybe if people want to look at this more and we look at how to use bar replay and play with it, we can do that because that could be a whole training in and of itself. But ideally, my order would have, placed right here. So it should place right here because that's where price is right now. So let me just see if and let's get rich and buy 25 shares. Okay, well, that's not gonna be, okay, let's do 25 shares. And then do buy. And so see how the order is where price is right here. That's where the order got placed. So ideally, I would have had it down here, right? And then, you could just say, you can have your stop loss, see where it says SL, you can just drag it down here. And then you can take take profit and put it up here. And then you're just like, okay, let me just play with it and see how the trade would have worked out. And then you just push play right here and just watch it. So that's one way that you can back test, and then I thought it showed your profit down here, but I guess not. I don't know why it's not. I've seen trades do it and it has their profit down here, but I don't know why it's not here. Yeah, that's weird. So that's bar replay, but let's say that you wanted to place an order. I'm going to get out of bar replay by hitting this X down here. And let's say you wanted to place an order and you knew that your stop, let's say it was 530. So you can put your stop at 530. And then say your take profit is 612. And then, the expectation would be, no, we need more shares than that. Hold on. We rich. We rich. All right. So, we got 25 shares. We're risking $495. Say we just, let's even it up to 5, closer to 5. That's good. Obviously you would put it where you manage your stop down here. So I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. And you have your take profit up here. So that's how you can enter an order on the screen. But then one thing that DK brought up that he does is he uses his long position tool. And that's down here if you don't have it on your toolbar already. If you go down to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th icon, the long position tool, what you could do, which is pretty smart, is say you want to put that long position tool on your chart and you're like, I want to get out here, I want to get in here, and I'm going to put my stop here. Then on the chart, it measures like your risk to reward ratio, and your loss percentage, all the stats that you see in here. But the nice thing about this is if you use this tool and it works for you, and you can come here and be like, okay, I want to set an order, so let me cancel this order. If you want to cancel an order, just cancel it by clicking the buy order and it'll cancel everything. But say you use this tool and your take profit is up here, and you can right click on the tool and do create limit order. And based on how you have the tool on your chart, it'll set your order for you. Right? So you don't have to manually go in and do it how I originally did the order. You can do that. And then another thing that you can do is say, this is a setting that you always wanted. This is your setup, right? Maybe it's a 3-to-1 risk to reward, right? So what you could do is go up here and save the template as, and say it's your 3-to-1 risk to reward order. Do save. So then anytime you are ready to come in and use that template, DK, tell me if I'm missing something here, but you can go to your long tool, place it on your chart, right click on it, go to template, and do 3-to-1 risk to reward, and see how it just sets it for you.
Yeah, that's basically it, Jamie. If you use one ticker primarily, let's say SPX,
Yep.
or if it's a futures ticker and you're looking for 5 points in either direction,
yes,
you can go ahead and set that as a template. And so it's really like a 2-step order process, because then you always get your 5 points in either direction if it's a 1-to-1, or if you want 10 points, it'll be a 2-to-1. And then you right click and create the limit order. So like really quickly, you can get into your position and always have your stop, because price is moving fast. You always have your stop. You always have your take profit.
Excellent. So does anybody have did that answer your question, or was that helpful, Avery?
Yes, I was not aware that you can have a template like that on the long position. That's nice.
Yep.
That's nice. I really love using this long position to enter orders, both long and short, depending on what side, but it's proven to be useful.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, so when you're clicked on the long tool, you'll see the labels here, but when you click off of it, then it goes away. Right? So all right. I think that's all. And then it's the same thing for like if you're shorting. Uh-oh. I happen to have my short tool here. So you can say, I want to get in there to short, and I want to take it down here, and my stop loss is up here. you know, and it's the same thing, right click, create limit order. It's all set and it sets your orders for you. Uh-oh, what, oh, I'm like, did the market open? What is that? Oh, it maybe it's, I don't know, those sounds are unfamiliar to me. So, you know, you could do the same thing, you know, do your short template. Two to one, you know, so then anytime you want to go in here and just quickly execute, or quickly enter a trade, you can go here, right click, template, short 2 to 1, boom, wait for it to come up to your price, and that's pretty dope. I love it. All right.
Jamie, the last thing I want to add, you've already mentioned. So you take two of the concepts that Jamie's talked about already. One is the 0.5 fib template, right? And one is the long or short template. So when you had your long or short template up, Jamie, you have the opportunity to adjust your entry.
This here?
Yeah. So if you go to the settings of the tool, then under inputs, you see like fourth line down is your entry price, right? So if you're using, if you combine that with your 0.5 fib tool, it'll give you, you can set your entry exactly at the 0.5, right? So normally I'm not getting in, let's say at the top of the fib or the bottom of the fib. I want to get in right in the middle. You just grab the value from the 0.5 fib tool and you put that as your entry price.
Okay, so let's.
And then you just wait for price to come back to the 0.5 and it automatically gets you in.
All right, so let's show that like down here when we had this right here. So say we got our fib. And I'm gonna use my oh, I'm gonna use my my little template that I set. And I'm gonna reverse it. So what you're saying is this is our 0.5. If I want to go long, I can put my, I guess, if I do that, and then and I know my 0.5 is 477.21.
Exactly.
I'll go in here and put in entry price 477.21. And then I can clearly see what that is there. And then obviously I would have to, I can manually put in my stop over there if I know what my stop is, right? Because that's here.
Right.
Or you can, you know, drag it up. So either way.
Yeah, so let me add, so if you were going back in time, right, December 18th, right, that's where you have the high of your fib. You don't know when price is going to retrace back to the 0.5, but like, let's say on the 19th, you can go ahead and set up this long position tool, right? You don't know what the candles are going to do, but you already know your 0.5. You already know your entry after December 19th, right? And then you can go ahead and right click like you did, create the order, and it's just sitting there for you know, as long as you want the order to sit there waiting for price to come back down to the 0.5, and it automatically gets you in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Anybody have any questions on that?
Yeah, have you had experience with orders sitting in queue, you know, that you placed and you know they get filled way later?
Yeah, that's the only way I order right now. So I trust, you know, we studied enough, right? That we know the system works and we know the process works. So I have no hesitation about putting that order in, let's say on December 19th, and just letting it sit. So it can be on the daily, it can be on the hourly, it can be on the 5 minute. You know, that I know where the 0.5 is, and I know I want to get in there because I know the process works. That's the only way I enter trades now, because then I never go without a stop loss, right? So when you create that order, not only do you get in at the 0.5, but you also have your stop, right? Because you set the bracket.
Yeah.
And that way, I know what my risk is on every trade. And
And
sometimes, yeah, I get stopped out, right? But it's a process. And I know, more times than not, it's going to hit the take profit versus hitting the stop.
clear, Avery?
Yeah, it's clear. I worry when I'm setting orders that I know may not fill today. I get hesitation because I'm like, dang, will I have the money when the order does hit? Will I have the money? And B, do I have enough? Have I traded too much? Because I might get flagged as a pattern day trader. So there's like a couple. I know your account may be set up different, but there's a couple variables that hinder me from just letting a trade sit in queue that I got to worry about. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Well, yeah, I mean, that's a valid point. And it depends if if you run into pattern day trade, but of course, if you're trading futures, you're not having to worry about that. So there, a couple of ways to, to get benefit from that. But the key is if something's moving fast and, you don't want to get caught without a stop, um, that's a way to do it. But again, you would have to worry about day trades.
Okay. Thank you, Avery and DK. Let me see. Multiple charts. So I don't know. You got to look at what level of Tradingview you're on. There's three different. There's like, basic, mid, and premium. So some of the things I have the premium account, and so some of the things I can do on my account you may not be able to do. But one of the things that I can do over here, where you see select layout, is I can have up to 16 charts on my screen at a time. Now, will I ever use 16? No, I got a hard enough time looking at 2, but that's what this looks like. So say, you want to look at multiple time frames and, the same ticker, and you want to be able to watch it, then you can come in here and set it so that, oh, your plan has 8 charts. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought I was at the top. Ooh. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I'm at premium. I didn't even know about this up here. Oh God, no. I'm premium. So look, I got limitations too. So let's stick with the 8 charts. 8. Okay, so it put 8 on my chart. So, when you're up here, you'll see like this is Nvidia, this is CL, this is SPX, this is SPX, they're all different. But say you're looking at one ticker, then you can come up here and say, I want to sync the symbol. So it should sync to Nvidia. I believe that's my primary chart. Let's see what happens. So this is Nvidia, Nvidia, Nvidia. See, it's not changing up here now. Nvidia, these are all Nvidia charts. So, and like say I want this to be on my daily chart, then I want this to be on the 4-hour chart, and then I want this to be on the 1-hour chart, you know what I mean? And then you can just watch all these different time frames on one chart. But it's just, I don't know if I could do it. I've tried before, but I'm just like, oh my God, I can't. It's too much. Where am I? What's the chart? What the blah blah blah. But it's, sometimes maybe you want to do like, ICT had a good setup last week where he had his was like this. He had this. So he had like, I think he had something like this. I can't remember his time frame, but he'll have like the 15-minute chart here, the 5-minute chart here, and then like the 3-minute chart or the 1-minute chart. I think he used the 1-minute chart. So it's like, then, it's like when it's nice because you can see the price action, you can see what's happening, but then when you don't, having the higher time frame up will keep you from getting all disoriented and like, oh my God, what's happening? I can't. Yeah, so that's how you can look at multiple time frames on one chart. Did that make sense? Or does anybody have any questions about that? Or
Yeah, let me add too, he has a concept that he calls the sick sister.
Yes.
And if you use the layout with 3 horizontal charts,
Uh-huh.
so I guess that's in the third row, you could set one for the Dow, one for the S&P and one for the NASDAQ. And it's beyond the scope of this meeting, but you can read up on the concept of a sick sister and how that dictates where price is going to go depending upon how the 3 relate to each other.
Yes. And we actually can study that in one of our ICT calls because I don't even look at the six sister. I barely even look at the ES when I'm looking at NQ. So I've tried, but I got limited mental capacity to be looking at all this different stuff and time frames and charts, blah, blah. So
yeah, on this one, Jamie, you'd want to sync the time frame.
Oh yeah. Intervals.
The interval, right?
Okay, got you. Yep. Okay, so then they're all on 5-minute now. And then is there a way to sync it so they all line up here?
Yeah, so you'll in the time frame, you'll do right click and reset the time frame for all 3. Where you see the time across the horizontal at the bottom. Yeah, right click, reset time scale for all 3. You got to do it for each. You got to do it 3 times for each chart.
Now will it sync them though? So if I drag
it should stay synced.
Oh no.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. Go back and sync time. Yeah. Make sure your time is synced.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Okay. So let me reset it now. Oops. Reset time scale. So this, notice you guys, I'm on the notice I'm on the, that ain't what I want to do. It ain't it ain't happening for me.
Go back to the sync.
Go back to the sync up here.
Yeah, so you want everything synced except the symbol.
Okay, got you. There you go. Okay. So at least,
so where you think like maybe you've reached the liquidity, right, for the S&P or the ES, right? But you haven't hit it on the NASDAQ, right? Well, instead of price coming back down, the NASDAQ is still seeking liquidity up above, right? And so, maybe it's not until both or all 3, take out the level of liquidity before, price then moves down. So it's good to know what the other indices are doing.
Yeah. So this is good. So one thing I can do, like at one point I was trying to have a layout. So I'm gonna save this layout so like I don't have to reset this again and set up the ES, the YM, and the NASDAQ. So when we're on our live calls, then we can tap into this and see if we can help us with our analysis. But what I'm gonna do is save this as a layout. So all I have to do is pull up this layout in the future, and maybe I'll customize it some more at some point, but at this point, just for the purposes of this call, I'm just gonna go down here and do shoot. I should have created a whole new layout to start it. Can I do this? Make a copy? and then you use this for SMT and Six Sister, right?
Yeah, you can use, yeah, they're very similar.
Okay, so let me see if it'll give me this as a new layout. So like it's just always set. It's always set, and then because over here I was in my SPX 8X because at first I was trying to use 8 charts and I was like, this is my eight chart layout. And I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work for me. So now we have over here our SMT layout. So whenever like we're on a call and be like, Jamie, what's the SMT look like? Or what's the Six Sister or whatever, then I could just pull this up and it's always going to be saved, and I'll customize it as we need to going forward. But yeah. Now, why isn't it syncing our times again? Did it get reset? Okay.
Yeah, but this has, you still have to control the prices over on the right. I don't know how you can, I don't think you can sync those, but if you right click and you reset the price axis, right, the time scale,
Yeah.
do that for all three.
Yeah.
That's usually what when I am using this type of format, I'll have to reset all three.
Yeah.
And then they stay aligned.
Okay, cool.
So the middle one needs to be reset. The second one. Yeah, go over to the right to your price axis and reset that one.
The price scale?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Okay. Cool.
Well, as you drag, every time you drag like that, you're going to have to reset. So just understand if you pull on that price axis,
I got
you
you.
got to go back and reset it to make sure that they stay synced together.
So I don't know if like, why would it seems like I would be more concerned with the time being synced than the price, right?
Yeah, except for that situation where I just mentioned, right? So you think that you hit liquidity, let's say on ES, right, or the S&P.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you swept liquidity and now you expect price to drop. But NASDAQ hasn't swept its similar liquidity yet.
Yeah.
Right. And so prices goes up and you get stopped out. And you're like, why did I get stopped out? Well, NASDAQ hadn't hit its equivalent level of liquidity. So you just want to make sure that in my case, right, I want to make sure that at least NASDAQ and S&P have taken out the same level before I get into a trade. You don't have to do it that way. You can only focus, you may want to just focus on one ticker. But sometimes when I get stopped out, I'm wondering why. And the reason why is because NASDAQ still had, still had room to go to reach its liquidity.
Okay, got you. So the purpose of this exercise mainly was just to show you that you can set up different layouts here. So that like say you want to chart, something over here in this layout, but for long-term charting, but then you want to be able to this should be on autosave, yeah. But you want to like say my SMT is like for long-term charts and analysis, but I want to be able to chart like daily, then you can use a different layout and then just do your daily charting on your original layout or your other layout, for day-to-day charting. And then say you're in here and you only want to see like the one at the top full screen. You could come down here. Is it this thing right here or no? Right here.
Up in yeah, there you go.
Yeah, maximize your chart. And then that's how you can like, zoom in on one particular chart that's in this particular layout while you're in it. Okay, and then you're in it because this green boxes, blue boxes around here. But then if you want, you could just go to the one, and then now you're just looking at that chart. Okay, that was good.
Finally, Jamie, next to the gear at the top is a maximize button. So yeah, I think that will do. Well, no, I'm sorry, that was not right. you can escape. So yeah, I think you're right. At least on the desktop, you were right about how to maximize one particular level.
Like
Just to
here,
click the button down there, right? Maximize. Yeah,
maximize.
there you go.
Yeah. But then even still, that's a good point. If you want to go into full screen, then now you're in full screen. You don't have all the labels at the top. You're using more of your real estate. And then even still, if we wanted to go into this chart, then that, or this chart, right? The one that's highlighted in blue, you can just maximize that chart.
Right.
Okay, that's good. I like that. Um, let me see. Oh, another thing in here is, say you have, like, you can come in and customize your charts. If you go into Canvas and say you want the ticker watermark in the background, or you don't. Is mine not, what am I doing? Or maybe it's too light. Like, okay, there you go. I'm like, what's happening? See, so sometimes, like, I don't have that on my chart because it's just it's in the way, you know. But if you want to have that on there so you always know like what ticker you're charting, then you know that's how you get to it. You go to Canvas, watermark, and you can turn it on or off. You know, I happen to like, I'm surprised my grid lines are not on this chart because I happen to like the grid lines. So I don't know why I can't see them. But you know, some, maybe you want grid lines, maybe you don't. I tend to like them because, like, if I'm trying to see, mine are not this dark, but if I'm trying to see, like where a price came to in relationship to over here, like did it get to this red candle or not? I can't tell. Well, I can tell just by looking at the grid lines that it didn't make it there. So that's just extra customization. If you go to the settings gear up here, that you can kind of toy around with your background. Maybe you want it to be a black background. You know, some people like black because the white is too hard on the eyes. That's how you can change it up here. Settings, canvas, and then change it from whatever. Maybe you want it blue. You know, you can make it whatever you want. So you know, there's all this different editing up here that you can do. Oh, let's take this off immediately. And then we'll go ahead and take these down. None. Let's see. Did that. Oh, one thing that I had to change on my chart, that so the default, if you come over to the price axis and you come over here, I think the default is auto is on, and lot price to bar ratio might be on by default. So the thing that I don't like about this is when I click on, oh, that's interesting. I thought I couldn't do that. That's weird. Oh, I thought I couldn't do that. Let me see, hold on. 'Cause I know there's something. Oh, maybe that's what it is. So see how the price is locked to the candles are locked to the price bar. So I don't like that, you know. So if that's the default, when you go in there, you could just right click on the price bar, and oh, I guess you got to do either or and uncheck that. So now when I do this, it's it's it doesn't react the same. Let's look at that again. So this is with it off. This is with it on. See how the whole chart, like I personally don't like that. So I don't have that feature on lock price. Like I have it like that. And another thing is, I guess you can't use it these at the top. I think this might be on as default. So there's something about that that I don't like. There's one of these that I can't drag it. Oh, maybe that's just if you, oh yeah. So see how I'm trying to drag it around now? and it's just going side to side. I can't do up and down. I can't do left and right. So if you find that you're not able to do that, maybe you like that. I personally, I don't. I want to be able to click on my screen and drag it where I want it to, right? So that's a couple of things. And then there was a question about the inverted chart. So you just right click over here and you go to invert scale. So see, this high is up here, it's going to flip down here now when I invert it. See? And then you can just invert it back. Sometimes because I'm so much of a bull, I be thinking like, maybe I should look at the chart when it's an opportunity to short, inverted. So then it's giving me the illusion that I'm going long, but I'm like, man, I'll be done did that and messed around and tried to go long when I'm supposed to be going short. Like, that's not good. So yeah, that's how you do the inversion. Another thing over here that is helpful. So see how I'm over here and there's this little plus button right here. If I push the plus button, there's different things I can do. Create a new order, do a horizontal line, add an alert. But sometimes you might be like, oh my God, where's my plus button? It's because somehow either it got turned off down here. So if you go down here, you can turn it on and off. So now see how it's not there anymore? And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? So, you know, you can right click and then you have your options here. But I personally like having a plus button. And also the countdown button. You know, sometimes you might be like, I want to know where I am on a 1 second chart or the 1 minute chart or the 15-minute chart. This is a countdown button. Since the market is closed, I can't show you right now. But if you want to see the time showing up on here, like how much time you have left on that particular candle, just make sure you have the countdown to close option turned on. That's a bunch of other stuff that we don't have to concern ourselves with right now. We talked about that. We talked about that. We talked about that. We talked about that. Okay, extended session. So on the 15 on anything lower than a daily chart, you can on regular tickers. We'll look at regular tickers since most people here are not trading futures, I don't think. So let's just look at SPY. So sometimes you might want to look at pre-market and post-market on SPY or any ticker, you know, but we're just looking at SPY now. And so if you go to if you're on a daily chart and you go over here and you're like, where is my extended hours? I can't turn on my extended hours. Extended hours won't show up on a daily chart. So you have to make sure you're on a lower time frame chart to where that's where you would actually see extended hours. So if you go up here to settings and then symbol, let me do that again because I was on the daily chart and I was trying to show you that it wasn't there and I was on the wrong window. So see how you cannot see extended hours, electronic trading hours here. But if we go to the 15-minute chart and then go here, now we can see it. So you have to be on a lower time frame in order to be able to see the extended and regular trading hours. So extended trading hours actually shows you where the market was moving prior to New York open. So after New York closed and before New York open. So this is, you know, trading from what, 4 o'clock to 8 in the blue box. And then this is from 4 a.m. to basically 9:30. So if you wanted to change, say you don't like yellow and blue, you can come up here, go to pre and post market hours background and say you want it to be, you know, lavender and make sure it's, you know, dark enough. And then say you want it to be yellow. Make sure it's dark enough. And then, you know, that's how you can change your colors when looking at extended hours. Maybe you want gray, you know, shades of gray. You know, darker is pre-market, lighter is post-market. Did that answer the question on the extended hours? Also, you can change your body color of your candles. Say you don't like red and green. Some people say that the red and green has some kind of psychological effect on people. So if you want to just, use black and pink, you know, you can go in here and change it. And then if you do that, you want to make sure you change the color of your wicks. So that's how you can do that all in your those settings, So some people are like, I don't like red, if red makes me feel bad or whatever. But I personally like I don't mind the green red personally. All right. Okay. Let me see. Lastly, I have a video on object trees, so I'll just link it in the because I'm gonna put this on YouTube. I'll just link it in the description on YouTube. But there's a feature in TradingView called object tree where you might, want to mark your levels on your daily chart, but you don't necessarily want to see those levels when you go into your lower time frames. So, you can set your levels, right click, do object tree. And then what happens is you have all these different levels that are on your chart over here. And say, I just want to take these levels right here. So I'm clicking this one. I'm holding my control button and I'm clicking this line, and this line. And you'll see that they're all highlighted right here. And they're all highlighted right here. So over here, I'll do create a group of drawings. And I'll say, click in that box and I'll say daily. And then click out of there. And then say I want to chart on this is one way you can turn off the extended trading hours down here too. See ETH. I want to turn that off right now. So say I'm on the hourly chart and I'm like, I don't want to see these daily levels. I just want to chart my hourly levels. You can come over here to daily and hit the little eyeball and turn it off. So you can do that with all your time frames. Say you want your hourly levels, your weekly, your monthly, or whatever, then you can put them in a folder like I showed you, and then that you can turn them on and off as you need to. But I'll link the video that I did for I'll drop it in the chat, Charlene, before we finish. All right. Let me see. I think, and I'll drop the link to TradingView in there too before we hang up. I think that's I know that was a lot. I tried to, be as thorough as possible. Is there anything? Oh, if you want to have fun, you can come over here. Like sometimes people know me on my calls. I'll go to icons and I'll put the little magnet on my chart. Like, ICT does a light bulb and all these different things, but I'll be like, come on, baby, come up here. If you want to have fun and decorate your chart, you got all your little icons over here, and you can customize them. You want a nice red heart, So there's so much more that you can do with TradingView. There's a lot that I don't even know about, but this is, what I do know and what I just wanted to do this video because I know people often have questions about TradingView. Thank you, Aaron. All right. Is there anything else that some people do on TradingView that helps you, that you think might help other people, that you want to share or that we should cover? I guess we can look at your watch list. Over here, where you have this little notepad over here is your watch list. And if you ever want to just add to it, you can go to the add a symbol and just add, I'm trying to find something that's not on my list. Okay, Zillow Group. Oh well. United States Steel. So you go over here, press the plus button, and then it's down here. You'll see it added it down here. And if you want to, you can drag it up, and reorganize it. I don't know. Well, yeah, reorganize it. Say I want it at the top of my list. That's how you can add stuff to your watch list. And if you don't want it on your watch list anymore, you just hit this X over here to take it off. Oh, I know something that's good. So, say you're trading XOM and you're like, oh my God, XOM is going up. I don't know what's happening. Why is it so bullish? What's going on? Well, one reason could be that, there's something in the news. So you have this little lightning bolt down here that gives you the news. It gives you earnings here. So maybe they're running up before earnings. And so if you want, you can click on the news here, do more, or over here at the bottom of the watch list, there's the ticker that you're on, and you can just drag this up. And over here, it gives you the price, the volume, earnings, dividends, just all this information. And sometimes you might be looking at a ticker and you might be like, I don't know what this ticker is. What is it? Well, you can just come over here, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and it'll tell you down here at the bottom. So that's a good resource for you. And for some of you, you might not have like earnings or this stuff down here. So if you go to settings up here and you go to events, and then you can turn it on and off. See how it's the earnings is going away and showing up down at the bottom when I click it. If you're interested in dividends and, maybe you don't want news down there, see the lightning bolt going away and coming back, you can turn that on and off. News notifications, if you want to, like, maybe it'll give you a pop-up or something like that, and you can do that. Yeah. I know I said, asked if anybody had any questions, and I kept on talking. Does anybody have any questions or want to go ahead, DK?
That was a great demonstration you pointed out over on the right panel.
Yeah.
I know in week one, I used that to determine whether the stock was healthy or not. So if you if you go towards the bottom of that graphic, it'll look back like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, right? Right above those dials, right? Yeah. And that was one of the ways that I determined whether a stock was, healthy or not. If it was all red, to me, it meant it was not healthy. Yeah. Right. So it'll break down the performance of the stock based on the weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly.
Yep. Awesome. Great. Anything else? Oh, one thing we didn't cover was alerts. So one way that you can do alerts is on your, let's just do this one up here. On this horizontal ray up here that's marking this zone, say I want to know when price breaks above this. So what I could do is come up here, right click on the line and add an alert. So, during regular trading hours, I'm going to get an alert. Obviously, there's all these things, you can change those settings and say, I want to know when it's crossing above it. So I want to do crossing up. This is a horizontal ray that it's on. You can choose how often you want it to trigger you. You can choose your expiration date. I think they have a limit on this, but yeah, see, it can't go past March 28th. So it'll expire after March 28th. And then you want to say like XOM broke liquidity. Wow. And then you can say like, if you say you want to say, I want to trade any kind of analysis that you want to put here that will tell you what you want to do when it gets to this level, because you might be like, why did I set this alert? What's going on? What's my plan? So you can do all of that in this alert. And if you come over here to this little alarm clock over here, all of the alerts that you have set are here, right? And so this one right here is the one that I just did. If I want to edit it, I just double click it, come over here and then add to my note. And then these are all options that you can, I tried to set up this send email to my text, and I had a problem with this. So did you ever do this, DK?
Yeah, it works if you're using like a third party service to take your trades. Some of them are set up based on email or text messages. So they provide you the email address, or they provide you the text number in
Yeah.
order to trigger your entries on your trades.
Yeah, so I have to do that. So at some point, maybe we can do work on that, because I just had the worst luck trying to figure that out. But that's for another time. So all of, your alerts are over here. And then, all of the old alerts are here. And if I wanted to clear my log, I could just clear it. And so that's clear. So these are current, oh, I guess these are some up here that I could remove some old alerts. Right. That's a lot of alerts, huh? All right. Anything else that would be helpful for us to cover at this time? Is anybody overwhelmed? Like, oh my God, she went so fast, I gotta watch this again.
Jamie, I joined a little bit late. Did you talk about the setting the time zone in the lower right?
No. Here is one of the things that, for those of you that study ICT, he recommends us having our charts on the New York time zone. That way, whenever you're like looking at price and you're discussing price with anyone, or he's talking about price, everybody's in sync that we're on the New York time zone. So, this is how you can change it. Just come down to the lower time zone, click down here and choose the time zone that you want to have. But that's why I'm in Pacific, but I keep mine on New York. So whenever I'm talking to somebody, it's like we don't even have to, ask. Oh, another thing I did is, let me see, where is this at? I can't remember. Oh, I don't like military time. So my time is the 12 hours, and that's under scales. And you can change it from military time to I don't know, regular people time, non-military time. So that's one thing you can do. So like when I'm looking at this time down here, see the time down there at the bottom, the date and the time. You can change the format and if you want it military or non-military. So that's that. Anything else? With your time frame up here, I recommend people put some up here. Matter of fact, I need to turn off 1 minute, 2 minute, 30 seconds. And then we'll see how that goes. Cause I be getting jacked up on these lower time frames. So I need to try to train myself to stay on the 3 and the 5 minute. So, if you go into your time up here, then you can star it, and then you'll have it up here. So then you don't have to be like, oh, I want to go to the 1 minute chart. I got to come up here, come down here, click it. You can just have it as a shortcut up here. So there's a lot on TradingView that I don't even use. I don't know about. I'm not an expert. I just, I'm just sharing what I know. And hopefully this helped people that are considering using TradingView and just want to understand. I understand it just a little bit better. I hope this helped. Does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to talk about before we wrap it up? Yeah, I'll do it after we start recording, Dr. D. I don't want to take the time to get it and then drop it, but I'll definitely do it. Anything else? All right. Well, that's it. Thank you very much. If you have any questions or any comments, leave them in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. All right, I'm gonna stop recording and then we'll wrap up. Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks for asking questions and participating and staying and listening and all of that good stuff. All right.